Hey guys, Urban Combat Survivor here. This video is about kind of a theory that I've had. I don't even know that I'd call it a theory, just kind of a thought that I had at some point. I don't know, 6 months ago, a year ago. I don't know how long ago, and it's not really something that I'd put over much time thinking about. I mentioned it to a couple of buddies over the course of different conversations, and the other day I got my Google finger got a little itchy, so I started looking to see if there was anything to support my thinking. The theory, I guess if you'd call it hypothesis, whatever, is I wonder how much of the economy as it currently is really being propped up by people like us. People that are going out there spending more money than they normally would because they want to get extra goods to put away. Um, so uh, I fired up the Google and I wound up at the United States Census website because they're the ones that track sales numbers and economic figures on any kind of products being moved monthly, yearly, that kind of thing. So they kind of obscure the numbers as best they can. I think they intentionally put it into geek speak or economic speak or whatever. But anybody with a little bit of common sense can look at those numbers, follow down the list, take a minute or two to familiarize yourself with the reports that they're putting in front of you, and come away with a sense of what's really there. So I started looking at the numbers and I zeroed in on the percentages that are broken down in various categories. And what I came away with was two impressions. One is there's a big fat lie on that report. And I mean, you know what? I'm not even going to say it's a lie. I'll present it to you as a question. How many people do you know in the last year that have went out and purchased a new car, a brand new car? I know one, just one. So I'm looking at that report, and it says that over 10%, there was an over 10% increase in the last year in car purchases. Well, I'm looking around, and okay, maybe I just know cheapskate people because everyone I know has kind of been making do with the car they have. So nobody has the money. Other than one person I know, nobody's really had the money to go buy a new car. So, okay, let's run this on statistics. I have about 20, 25 cars that park on my block regularly. So I should be able to look out my front door and see two brand new cars, right? Nope, none. Everybody's driving the same car they drove last year and most likely the year before. There's no brand new cars out there. So who's buying this 10%, this 10 plus percent increase in car purchases? And how much of the economic numbers that are being reported are based on that 10% increase in auto sales? Are they real? Are these orders that were placed by government agencies? You know, it's got to be federal government because I have very, very close proximity to my house. I have a few federal, or sorry, a few city level vehicle depots. And I'm not seeing new cars. There's not new cop cars, new trash trucks, new streets department trucks out there on the street. I'm not seeing new equipment, new vehicles driving around. Um, Similarly, I'm not seeing any new state vehicles, PennDOT or anything like that, riding around on the road. So I don't have access to see federal vehicle sales, but even if it is the federal government that actually purchased these vehicles, isn't that kind of a false number? It's a false report. Because what's the federal government paying us? They're taking money that they don't have because we're running a deficit. We're running both a debt and a deficit. So they're taking money we don't have and purchasing cars and using those numbers to prop up their economic numbers. Is that what they're doing? I have no idea. But I know one person who's bought a new car in the last year. How many do you know? And look around at all the people you know, the people you regularly interact with. and add up the number of new cars. Does it come up to 1 in 10 that bought a new car in the last year? If that's the case for you, I mean, it's certainly possible that Philadelphia has a lower car sales rate. I don't know. The census website didn't specify state, city, that kind of thing. So maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's bullshit. That's number one. But back to the original point, the original reason for me going to that site was I wondered how much of the economy is being propped up by prepper sales, by people that are going out and buying food, buying guns, buying ammunition, buying seeds. And here's what I came back with. The second item, there's only two items that really stood out on that report. One was the vehicle sales. The other one was this ill-defined category that was sporting and gardening, basically, is what it came down to. Sporting goods and gardening equipment. Now I ask myself, how many people do you know? I mean, what falls under sporting would be, baseball bats, gloves, boats, guns, ammo. That would fall under sporting, correct? How many people do I know that have bought baseball gloves, bats, footballs in the last year? Yeah, maybe one here or there, nothing more than normal, right? Why would there be a significant increase? Until you get the guns. That falls under sporting. How many people do you know that have bought guns in the last year? I did. I bought two, actually, in the last couple of months. I purchased ammo for those guns in the last couple of months. So that would fall under sporting. And gardening. How many people do you know that are gardening now that weren't gardening last year or the year before? Gotta raise my hand again. How about you? How many people do you know that are buying guns, buying ammunition, buying seeds, planting gardens? So, now, the increase in vehicle sales was reported at twice the percentage increase that the number in sporting and gardening was reported at. I think it was something like 10.2% for the vehicles and 4.7% for sporting and gardening. Now, again, the people I know, it might be a poor cross-section of America, but it seems that I know many people that have purchased guns. I'm going to a gun show in 2 weeks where I'm taking two people with me that have three people with me, depending on who goes. And it's possible 4 people with me that have never purchased a gun before, have never owned a gun before, that'll be going and purchasing guns and ammunition in a couple of weeks. Those same 4 people, plus myself, are all talking about or doing gardening, buying seeds, buying gardening equipment. Now, these aren't survivalist type people I'm talking about. These are just average Joes, truck drivers, steel workers, whatever. These aren't survivalist types. This is new purchases. People that weren't gardening before, people that weren't trying to grow their own food, people that didn't own guns. So how is it that, just off the top of my head, I know at least 4 people that are falling into this 4.7% category, but I only know one person in the 10.2% or 10.4% category? How's that make sense? So I really sat and I started thinking about it, and I really kind of expanded my my range of who I was thinking of. And in the last 1 year, I know one other person that picked up a nice used car. Is that counted in the number? But when I expanded that thinking, I also came across a lot of other people that have purchased or are planning to, in the next very short period of time, purchase guns and ammunition. Normal people. People who are purchasing seeds and gardening equipment. It expands in about the same ratio or even greater ratio. The disparity even gets larger, leaning towards the sporting goods and gardening section and away from the vehicle sales, brand new vehicle sales. So, how is it that there's this great a disparity in the numbers from last year to this year? 10%, I mean, that's 1 in 10, right? A little bit over 10%. 1 in 10 new people should have a new car. I'm just not seeing that anywhere. But I'm seeing the hell out of some ammunition and guns and gardening equipment, various other things that would fall under sporting goods, backpacks, hiking gear, hiking boots. So, so my theory there, how much of the economy is being propped up by the things, by the economic activity that we are producing as people who are getting generically prepared. I'd have to say it's getting into the realm of something ironic if you follow it down. Because if the numbers that are reported on the census website for sporting and gardening equipment are accurate, as it would seem to me by the people I'm seeing in my own personal life, and the auto numbers are bullshit, which it also seems to me. And by the way, did anybody read those little reports, and just little quick blurbs, where the big giant spike in auto sales was based around the Cash for Clunkers program, and then start nosediving? I mean, same downward line. If you cut that part out, you wouldn't even see. It's the same decline. But did anybody read any of the little articles, the little blurbs that said the car dealerships aren't getting their checks? See, they're supposed to be getting paid for these cars. Now, again, that goes back to what if the government ordered a bunch of cars? Well, so if they order them, it's our money anyway. So it's really bullshit. It's not part of the economy. They're kind of generating fake numbers, taking money out of one pocket, saying, "Oh, my right pocket's empty. I don't have money in my left pocket. I'm gonna write an IOU here and put it in my left pocket. Now I can say I got money in there. I'll yank the IOU out and put it in my other pocket. Cool, I'm good." So if that's what they're doing, it's already bullshit. But then if you add in not only that, but the Cash for Clunkers program, they're not sending the checks. You know, I know somebody in California who last year got an actual IOU from the state of California for a tax return check. Sorry, give you the money later. How many people do you know that get a check in one form or another from Uncle Sam? What happens if Uncle Sam, on the federal level, because we're overspending far more on the federal level than even California was spending at this point. What happens if and when Uncle Sam starts sending out IOUs to these people that live on this? People that are retired from the military, people that are retired from the post office, people that work actively for the military or the post office, or any other federal government job duty that you can think of. What happens when Uncle Sam starts handing them checks that actually say, "I owe you this. Sorry, can't pay you right now, buddy"? How screwed are those people? It's just a thought. I don't know if this theory has any teeth to it. If there's any economists or market analysts out there, if you guys would like to take a look at those numbers, just hit the census website. Maybe I interpreted them wrong. Maybe I'm a retard. Maybe I'm stupid. And maybe I have an isolated, horrible cross-section of America as the people that I know personally. So maybe I'm the one that's seeing it's all wrong. But how many people do you know that bought a new car? How many people you know that bought guns? Seems like these numbers are a little skewed to me. If we're propping up the economy, what happens when we're all prepped? Wouldn't it be ironic if us prepping is what's keeping the economy going, and then when we all have our stuff put up, nobody spending, boom goes the economy? Urban Combat Survivor, signing off.